Peter, today's news is that the mortgage lender Bradford and Bingley will be nationalised either today or tomorrow, and that there were practically no new mortgages arranged in August. I think 2% compared to last year, a collapse of mortgage lending. Is nationalisation a good thing?
It was necessary from the point of view of capitalism. It was necessary in order to save this particular bank. But isn't this an incredible development? Think back to the situation that we've had this year. We've had Bear Stearns and the rest of them, Lehman Brothers in the US. We had the nationalisation of Northern Rock last year. We've now had the nationalisation of a building company that was turned into a bank, partly into a bank, by the process of deregulation that was begun under Thatcher and Reagan, and which was carried on by Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. And they are responsible for this situation. It's an indication that the phase of deregulated capitalism has come to an end. They're now going to step in and try and regulate the system, regulate the so-called free market. What it means is switching control, maintaining control of their system, but employing a different method of control. It does not represent a fundamental breach, if you like, in the whole nature of the capitalist system. It's a form of state capitalism that we see taking place, of the state stepping in to rescue banks and to rescue the bankers, who the Church of England, by the way, have described as bank robbers. That's how far it's gone in Britain, and the indignation. And Wall Street is now described as Fraud Street by the average American worker and the average voter in America. And therefore, as a result of the stepping in, they've stepped in a form of state capitalism to regulate the capitalist system. They want to renovate it at our expense, at taxpayers' expense, and then give it back, almost gratis, free, to the private sector to continue the cycle, the merry-go-round, that we've seen has led to this disaster at the present time.
But the people are asking themselves the question, well, will this nationalisation at least help ordinary people get decent housing? Young people can't afford housing, will it help?
Unfortunately, the answer is no, because this is a product of the subprime crisis in America, which was continued in Britain as well. It was reflected in what was happening in the housing market of Britain, of enormous debts piled up by ordinary people to get houses, much more extreme in the US. The whole basis of this boom has been based upon houses being, in effect, being kind of cash machines, where people would borrow on the basis of the rising asset value, not the real value, the asset value of their houses. That's come to an end. According to most capitalist economists in Britain, it probably will mean a drop in house prices of 30%. That's already had a catastrophic effect. Bradford and Bingley, by the way, were involved in the buy-to-let market, so that's going to take a hit. So the idea, and now the cost of borrowing in order to get a mortgage has gone up. At one stage you could get a 100% mortgage or 125%. Now young people are having to pay something like, I would say, 20,000, 10,000 deposits, like we had to pay when we were young in order to get houses. This was part of the so-called property-owning democracy of Thatcher and of Reagan and the likes. That's been smashed in this crisis. There are 5 million people in Britain who believe they'll never get on the housing ladder, and believe that social housing, which was attacked by Thatcher, attacked by Blair, attacked by Brown, that's the only way that they would get a decent house. So this idea of the golden staircase with which ordinary people could climb to a nice little safe house, that's over. That's been shattered for this generation.
So we would say